Thank you so much for joining us from wherever you are. My name is Beatrice Edu. In our first story, several people have been left critically injured with properties worth thousands of Ghana cedis destroyed following an explosion at an abandoned quarry site in the Nsawam Adredri municipality in the eastern region. It is believed that a company which used to operate the site left behind some explosives causing the deadly explosion Wednesday evening. It is not known how the substances were triggered, but the severity of the blast has also collapsed some buildings in the community. Former municipal chief executive for the area, who was also affected, has been speaking to Joy News.
Well, if you look at my building over there, the last time I brought in the valuers, they gave me a price tag of, old cedis 13 billion for my property. Okay, now I don't know what these people are going to do, but look at my property, look at the one directly behind us, and look across board. I mean, the damage is widespread. It covers almost about 2 or 3 miles, square. Okay, so you could just imagine how many people are directly affected by this, and of course the indirect ones. But then the question is the operator of this business insured? And if not, what happens to the numerous people who have their properties, either pulled down entirely or damaged?
Johnny's also saw at least one body recovered from the site.
Yes. 10 minutes. Yeah.
Commander has asked them that they should come and pick the body.
They are here. We are also here. But what they are doing is they are taking the body away. I'm of the they should take the body away. Hello. And the father is saying you should take the body away. And the father didn't allow me to. Okay. He was afraid. All right. Then please hurry up. Come.
We were called from the station that we were to the of the body and then convey the body to the station.
Ladies and gentlemen.
But police were, since morning, we were there since yesterday. What's the police doing? We've already lost a human being and people are coming to the scene and watching him. We are giving the police 5 minutes. Yes, we're giving the police. They are going to be here as possible and they're not here any morning. Police, I don't know. It's here. Our duty is to make sure the citizens is very well. Thank you very much.
With all respect, where is the leader?
So I should take your number and call you in case they didn't arrive. Okay. So I should take the number if they didn't come.
Master.
How much?
The fire tender wants to don't take it. Okay, so they don't take it back then all of us should come. Please, all of us.
The earliest thing they should have given told us those are living around to even evacuate, but they're not doing it. And we end up losing everything we have. We end up losing everything we have. It's that unfortunate. We forced them to come here to figure out what he was throwing. And the vehicle,
let's send the vehicle back. Who is serving the vehicle?
It's coming. It's coming.
Bring the vehicle back. Abu, go and move the vehicle so that back proper and let the all of us, let's go back to the road. All of us, let's go to the road. Excuse me. All of us, let's go to the road. Let's go to the road. Leave only the fire service. Only the fire service. Let's go to the road. Let's go to the road. Take your motor and go. Let's go. Let's go to the road.
Quite disturbing scenes over there. Let's go on the phone lines and speak with the Eastern Regional Director of the Environmental Protection Agency, Felix Ado Ochere. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you for joining us. Hello, Mr. Ochere. Can you hear us? Hello, Mr. Ochere.
Hello.
Great. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you for joining us on News Desk.
You're welcome.
Great. So first tell us the implication of the explosion on the people living around this area.
Please, please speak a bit louder. I can hear you.
All right. I wanted you to tell me the implications of this explosion to those living around.
You want me to tell you about what, please?
Okay, so let's start it this way. Do you know about this quarry site and its operations?
Yes, the quarry site is the quarry is called the Piabo Quarry. The office is aware that there was a quarry there, but for the past 4 years, the quarry has ceased operation. So we are aware that there was a quarry, but currently not working.
So it says operations last 4 years. How come there was an explosion yesterday?
Yeah. Well, let me explain to you. The explosion is not from the quarry operations. It is storage of some chemicals that exploded, but it is not a quarry operation.
So some chemicals which were kept at this quarry site exploded. That's what you're saying?
Yes.
So you knew that they stopped operations 4 years ago, and did the EPA check to find out whether everything of theirs at that quarry site was safe?
Yes, there has been a regular visit to the site, and there hasn't been any operation since. So as I speak, I don't personally know when this kind of activity started at the site.
Do you know whether this Akyem quarry you talk about had license to even keep these explosive, substances there?
Once I am saying that we don't know, but the office doesn't have any idea of what is happening there, then it means that there is no permit issued to them to do the activity they are doing.
So, all right, so you're saying that there was no permit. Now that this has happened, what is the EPA going to do?
Well, we are still under the preliminary investigation to find out what has gone on and when the whole thing started and where they got the mandate to do that. And then out of that, we will know what to do. I think it will be premature for me to tell you what EPA is going to do, since we haven't finished with the initial investigation to find out what exactly has gone wrong.
4 years ago, when this quarry was operating, did they have license?
They did. They had license until they stopped operation.
Who stopped them?
They stopped the operations. EPA didn't stop them, but they realized that they cannot continue operation, and they stopped working over there.
Under which circumstances, do you know?
I wouldn't know. It is someone's business. And if he decides not to work or suspend operations, that is the person's business. What I have to do, or the agency has to do, is to find out whether everything is in place and he hasn't abused the environment such that when he leaves, there will be a serious consequences. So for the reason of stopping the work, I can't tell you.
Now, the EPA is saying that this quarry stopped operations about 4 years ago. We have spoken to residents who have, of course, been affected in this latest explosion, and they are saying that they kept complaining about the activities of this quarry site, which presupposes that even though EPA says the quarry had stopped working about 4 years ago, they could have still been working, the reason these residents were complaining.
Yeah, let me give a brief explanation to this. There is difference between operating the quarry, that is breaking the rocks and then crushing them, and then there is different this current activity which is going on. So I would like us to take out the quarry operations, because I've told you the quarry operation has not been working. But there is a private man who is doing this for our initial investigation. It's a private person who is storing those ammonia, nitrate, and other explosives there. So the quarry issue is different from what is going on. Secondly, you are talking about the residents complaining. As far as my office is concerned, in the Eastern region, we don't have any information, or we don't have any petition or complaint from the community about the Abu Quarry and any activity going on there. I am very sure, and I speak with whatever confidence, that I have not received, and my office has not received any complaint from them, which we have not investigated.
So now you are saying your investigations have proven so far that these explosives, including ammonium nitrate, as she said, were being kept by a private person. Did you know about this before this explosion?
I think I have told you earlier, please, that my office is not aware, and the only knowledge we have was on this Monday, which they wanted to get a permit from the agency to clear new ones from the port, and we made the person who came around aware that it is not possible because we have not even received any application, we have not visited the site, and we didn't know. We thought it's a new warehouse they want to build and get those documents, the ammonia nitrate into the warehouse. We didn't know there were already containers that have been stored there for all this while. The process is that when we get application from the applicant, the agency will visit the site and see whether it is environmentally safe for any chemicals to be stored there, which we have never received it. So indeed, we are not aware what has been going on till yesterday when this explosive occurred.
Now, Mr. Adotre, briefly before you go, are you able to tell us the implication of this explosion on the residents there, those inhaling the substance right now, and even those who have suffered from this explosion?
Yeah, the implication is very clear, and it's staring at us. Structures have been affected, roofing sheets have been taken off, and so for physical implication, it is clear for us to see. But in terms of health and other things, once it's a hazardous chemical, of course there will be an effect or an impact. But that would be established by the specialists, the medical specialists, for us to know.
What would be your advice for those living around the place?
For now, as an immediate measure, the place should be barricaded and caution signs should be installed so that nobody goes near the affected area. And then those whose structures are closed and have had that problem would, if it's possible, if we can evacuate them from the place so that the contact with the chemical will be minimized.
Yeah, we'll end it here. Thank you very much, Felix Adotre. He is the director of the Environmental Protection Agency at the EPA. Let's still stay a while longer on this story, and I'm joined on the line now by the Public Relations Officer of the Eastern Region Police, ASP Yawo Nketiaye. Well, good morning to you, sir. Thank you also so much for joining us on the show.
Good morning. Thank you. Good morning, my sister.
Great. So what information have you picked up on this explosion so far?
So far, before this morning, 13 people had received various degrees of injuries. Not all of them were critically injured, and none of them was dead before this morning, meaning just some few hours ago, one of them, a 38-year-old Ibrahim, passed on. So now the explosion has claimed one life.
And that person is among the 13, you say?
Yes. But that one, I must confirm. I must confess that because the IGP, the regional minister, the regional police commander, all the big men are there, my source, that is the district crime officer, could not give me elaboration, but all that he said was one of them, Ibrahim Mohammed Mustafa, 38-year-old, died this morning.
Now, tell us, what is the extent of damage? I'm sure, of course, your officers are there. They are giving you information regarding the extent of damage.
Oh,
exactly.
It's massive, I must confess. But we even think it could have been worse. But because some of the vehicles were damaged by the explosion, many people got injured. Now, one fatality. Those roofs destroyed, cracks, shattered glasses. So there are many aspects of this explosion that we haven't finished assessing, but it is relatively massive, but it could have been worse.
Now, do you know, we are learning that your crime officer was affected. He's among the injured. Is it true?
Come again. We
are learning that your crime officer, the Eastern Regional Police crime officer, was among the injured. Is that the case?
Oh, no. No. All the crime officers, I've spoken to them. There's one crime officer, for example, I just spoke to him and he confirmed the one dead. Then the regional crime officer himself, as you are saying, he even accompanied the regional commander to meet the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kudalo.
So do you know, do you know whether this explosion affected just one community, or there are a number of communities that have been affected in this latest incident?
13 people, so definitely it will have rippling effects. But the main community, the name escaped me. There's a community near Sawum, that is where the scene, that is where the effect is much felt, and those whose buildings are around that area also got affected. This even brings to mind the struggle, the challenges the Ghana military is facing with encroachers. You know, these explosions, they've been complaining about explosives and the dangers they cause, but people just know without prepares nothing, and they just encroach. So this is warning that those who are encroaching on national security zones and the things of that nature, where there are mines, all those people are putting themselves and their families. No. This one is a general thing I'm relating to. I don't know whether they include the former, the defunct Quarry site. It's no more a Quarry site, now a magazine where they say they do in explosives. I don't know, but what I'm saying is, even if they are there legally, and we see that just some few meters away, somebody is dealing in explosives, somebody is quarrying, and you keep quiet because you are Ghanaian, you don't want anybody to say you are a bad person. This is the result.
So do you know the population of this community that has been affected?
No. We just started preliminary investigation, so not much is at hand.
And finally, before we go, ASP, the EPA in the region is advising that there should be evacuation of people from that area and the place should be barricaded. What do you make of that? Is that something the police has already started doing?
I'm here to meet my command, or even ask our father, the IGP, has come, what the final decision. But why they say so, they have said, so Director EPA, Regional Director EPA have said so, is that nobody can guarantee what will happen in future. In other words, there can be future explosion, or even as we are talking, another explosion can take place. So that to avoid that, we are not, when I say we, I mean Ghanaians, Africans, we are very reluctant when it comes to evacuation. This is where my sisters brought me. This is, and that's so it's for the good of everybody. If after some time, after the explosive experts have come to do their thing and nothing harmful, dangerous comes out, then they can go back. So me, personally, I don't know what my superiors decision they've taken, but I think it's in director. I think yesterday, then some police started cordoning off the area. The fire service also came in to help with the fire tender and everything. You see that it's and look at the logistics that had to be redirected towards this, all because many of Ghanaians don't want to do the right thing.
Now, briefly, ASP, have the police detected any chemical that could explode again? Because we are learning that some of your personnel on the ground are asking people to move away because anything can happen. Have you detected anything like that?
No, so far, the first morning after the disaster, nothing like that. But it is a precautionary directive that since the place has been a quarry site and it's now harboring or now accommodating a magazine. A magazine means where explosives are kept for distribution and dosing. So nobody can predict, and to be in a better position to prevent, to act in a proactive way is to evacuate. That is why the experts are saying this. Not that we are very sure of something, but it is a precautionary act.
Thank you very much. ASP Yawin Ketiayabwa speaks for the police in the Eastern region. We can now hear some residents who've been speaking with us.
I can't recollect precisely, but it's about a decade ago, we circulated letters. The members of the association over here, I wrote a letter. Circulated letters to all over. Member of Parliament, Minister of Mines, Minister of Environment, copy to Piabo, all over, about a decade ago. By then, I built my house down here during, it's about 1998. Most of these structures were not here. And Piabo was then cracking the rocks over here. So it was destroying my house. So I circulated letters. Even Adwaji Chief also circulated his. Adwaji Chief and elders circulated their letters. Minister of Mines to the Environment, Minister of blah, 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 Office of the President, to Parliament. By then, Wiafe, Honorable Wiafe was then the Member of Parliament over here. So he came, we gathered at Sesikrum to talk about it. And there was no solution. Environment came to take pictures of my house, the cracking. Fine, nothing worked.
You're still here on News Desk. Let's go live to the community where there's some development there. We understand IGP is on his way there. The regional minister as well is addressing the people there. Let's take a listen.
And we believe that when the Interior Deputy Minister goes, he will brief his boss, and then some committee will be put in place to investigate and let us see the actual causes and what actually happened, so that we can take the necessary measures to forestall future occurrence.
The Honorable Regional Minister in charge of the Eastern region has said it all, and so I'd want to first and foremost send our condolence to the family of the deceased. We are informed by the regional commander and the briefings we got that a life was lost and several others injured. And so we send our condolence to the family of the deceased. We would also want to wish those who sustained various degrees of injuries a speedy recovery. We understand a sizable number of them have already been discharged, and that currently it's left with just one person who is on admission and receiving treatment at the Nsawam Government Hospital. And now, having said that, I would want to add quickly that the importation of explosives is covered by some legal regime, which even requires that before you bring them into the country, you must obtain the minister's permit. The CID has something to do with the issuance of licenses once the permit is issued by the minister. And so the issue needs to be thoroughly investigated so that we understand how the Quarry, the company involved, came by those explosives in the first place, whether they complied with the illegal regime or not. And so these are the issues which should be thoroughly investigated. We're going back to Accra. We'll do further consultations, and at the appropriate time, would be announcing to the general public what measures would be put in place with the view to investigating the issue thoroughly and coming out with findings and the way forward in respect of what has happened. But it's been devastating. You can see the extent of damage. And so moving forward, we definitely must tighten things so far as handling of explosives is concerned. The preliminary findings shows clearly that some illegality may have been occasioned, and that is what we are interested in. If we unravel any illegality, we're going to deal squarely with whoever may have been responsible for the illegal conduct.
What I'll add to what my bosses have said is that we assure the general public that we are going to do everything to get to the bottom of this matter, to ensure that the right things are being done. And secondly, I want to give a word of caution. Secondly, I want to say the point that that place for now is a no-go area. We have the place cordoned. The police will ensure that there's maximum security there, because the place is not all that safe. And some people are going there, as they said, to go and collect scraps, some to go and see if they will get some dead animals and other things for the Xmas. But that's not the issue. That place is a no-go area. We're going to cordon the place and ensure there's total security there. And again, I want to tell the group of this area that we shall continue for our patrols, our security for them, for the Yuletide, and they must cooperate by giving any information that they have on the existence of this facility, so to facilitate our work and make sure that we get down the corporates involved. And so nobody has shown up as at now as owners of that facility. But once again, I assure you that we shall get to the bottom and make everything painstakingly to ensure that justice is done. Thank you.
A lot of things going on in this town. You just heard the acting IGP John Kudalo speak there, assuring the public that indeed they are going to look into this and ensure the corporates are brought to book. And he's also speaking about, of course, the fact that the perpetrators will be dealt with. And you also heard the Deputy Interior Minister James Agaga there sympathizing with the families, those who have been affected in this. And earlier you heard the Regional Minister Ntribuesiako Sertre saying that a committee will be set up to investigate this whole incident. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll bring you the latest in the world of sports. In the world of business, stay with us.